There's breastfeeding workshops available, there's infant feeding workshops. You can discuss sort of feeding choices around with your midwife and the MCAs, so that when you have your baby, you've got all that information so you can make that choice, and we will support you in whatever choice you make.
We also offer feeding classes. It's the first weekend of every month on a Saturday or Sunday.
We do promote breastfeeding because obviously it's human milk and it is designed and it's tailored for babies. It's on a supply and demand, so babies, it's at the right temperature, it's there when the baby needs it. It encourages responsive feeding, so once baby has established feeding, it is absolutely tailored. It's got full of nutrients for the baby and antibodies. If the baby develops a virus, the breast tissue will detect that and produce the antibodies in the milk as well to help heal that baby, so it is used as a medicine as well. It's really good to help with infants with gastrointestinal infections. It reduces the risk of respiratory infections. It reduces obesity later in life because it lays down those triggers in the gut. It also helps reduce the risk of osteoporosis and ovarian cancers with the mother. So it is absolutely tailored to mums.
We've got some lovely breastfeeding cafes that these ladies help out at.
Some mums choose to formula feed their babies. The powder isn't sterile, so we give them really strict instructions on how to prepare a bottle by boiling the kettle, leaving it for 30 minutes, putting the hot water into the sterile bottle. So if they were making a 3-ounce feed up, for example, they would put 3 ounces of the boiling water in and then 3 level scoops of the powder in, because the powder's not sterile and we need to kill that bacteria. Around kind of the 10-day period, remember those first few days when he was cluster feeding and going to the breast all of the time and you thought this is never going to end? They do it when they have a growth spurt.
When the ladies go home, the day after they've been discharged from hospital, community midwife will go and see them at home. We talk to them about their feeding, if they need help with their feeding. While we're there, we can help them with feeding. We can also arrange for one of our maternity care assistants to go out and see them at home to give them support with their feeding. They also get what's called proactive telephone calls, so we'll ring them on a regular basis to see how their feeding's going.
We expect weight loss. That is completely normal in babies, because babies are born with extra brown fat to keep them tided over until feeding's established. If your baby is exhibiting feeding cues, so there's little fists to the mouth and the looking around and things, that's what would encourage you to act on. So often babies don't get to the point where they're crying and making a lot of noise because you've recognised those early feeding cues and met your baby's needs. So it's lovely when mums say, we've got a really settled baby that doesn't really cry very much. That's because they're meeting their needs.